Welcome to YouTube, back with another one, BWI to ATXF, the channel, and today we are going to be receiving our Swisstrax and going ahead and install it as well. So, we go ahead and check out part one where we got the inside of this garage painted. This is Sherwin Williams light French gray. Gives it a little bit of a warmth to it. Again, we've been working a little bit backwards on it. So Swisstrax is up next because we gotta do the Swisstrax before we put and mount the cabinets to the studs right here. And I originally wanted to go with the dark. Then I had a test with the light. And I do like the light, but I feel like it's a little bit too matchy with the wall, in my opinion. So this I know is gonna be a good complement to the gray New Age Cabinets Bold series. So we did go ahead and go with that for a compliment. And if you're curious on the color, this is more closer to concrete. The gloss of it gives it a very light color, and it's a little bit too much of a match to that wall. But the other direction gives it a little darker. This one is a little bit more of a, I don't want to say a compliment, but a contrast to the color theme I'm going for. So we are gonna get right into it as soon as we get our box. Came in, 3-day shipment time out of Georgia. Shout out to Swisstrax, directly dealt with them. It did come late, so it's about 7:30. About to get into it. Everything unboxed, kind of checked. I didn't do a count, I believe everything is there, but we'll start on the top left corner, make our first way across. We're gonna run it all the way back on the left side to the back of the garage. And there's gonna be cutting all on this right side, as well as cutting on this back wall. We're gonna do that dead last. Let's get to it. And start with the flat up against the wall and towards the front of the garage. And then you're gonna consult with your layout that you used online to get the pattern down. And simple as just following it in. Let's snap that. The importance of this layout is you want it to fall in without having to lift it up. If you go the other way, you're gonna have to lift up each tile, and that really defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do. So just make sure you do it in orientation where the female or the loop side is gonna be available to put in right on top of it, if that makes sense. 4 rows back, and I wanted to do all the way up against this wall. Definitely count on your space not being exactly even. They do call for about a 1/4 inch away from the wall, so I'm gonna do that. I might push it up against it, make it real tight, and add a little bit more space over here for that gap, since this part of the garage really isn't gonna be traveled. These need to be cut about 1 inch, so just place these over here and I'll revisit those tomorrow. But only thing left to do now, other than trimming, is to fill in the rest. There it is, it's all down for the most part, except for that edge. Just gonna give you all an idea. Got the red, that's what the back cabinet is gonna sit on. And as you can see, the New Age cabinets did arrive today. So it's gonna be some crossover on these 2 videos, but yeah, I really like this layout. And be back tomorrow with the edge case, the edge correction, y'all know. Good night. This is gonna be the trick to get the edge pieces on correctly. So as you know, builder variations or tolerance can change a lot. So it's not necessarily just gonna be a straight line. So I'm going down this line, and you can see that I pre-marked it, and that's gonna be the cut that I'm gonna make for that to fit this little piece here. And as I mark this up, I'm gonna just leave this where it needs to be, cut it, and then bring it back to drop it in. So this is the hack that you can follow. So you're gonna, same orientation. This is the piece that's gonna need to be cut. This is gonna be the same orientation that is gonna be latched on. You get this perfectly lined up with the towel underneath it. You can see that, you just move that over. Make sure that's flush. A keen eye definitely does benefit you in this specific technique. But take a look, everything is square right on top of it. You can use a trash towel and cut these tabs off if you want, but I'm not doing that because I didn't get any trash towels. So you're gonna put this right on top. This doesn't need to be exactly over top of this, but can't hurt. So put this all the way up against the wall so it's touching. Now look, this is on center. This vein right here, or this line if you will, that doesn't exactly match because like I said, there's variances on your baseboards or your garage floors. So with that being said, you push that up against the wall and you take a marker, pencil, permanent, or anything. I'm using a dry erase marker just in case. And we are going to mark right there and take a look. I'm going in at a 90-degree angle to give it a bit of a gap. Swisstrax does say that you need about a 1/4 inch. This is gonna be the back wall. You're not really gonna be able to see it, but I'm just keeping that recommended tolerance because I know this gets hot. This garage, that is. So I am going to cut this maybe a little over the line to give it a tighter tolerance, or at the line, if you will, depending on the blade thickness, but pull this down to where the line was and look at that gap. That's gonna be the tolerance that you're gonna see after the cut towel. So just rinse and repeat for all these, and that should give you a real good result. So we made some progress. The whole reason for me getting this flooring in ASAP is because these cabinets do need to be installed. So this is the result of the space that needs to be installed because the cabinets are gonna sit on it. You really could probably not fill it wall to wall if you're doing that, but whatever. So you see I got the cuts just fine. All the way across wall to wall. Took a little bit of time. So the jigsaw I got from Walmart, and it's just a regular jigsaw. No speed or anything. You can control the trigger to do a low speed if you want. But as you can see, me trying to do it in here made it super messy. So I have lost daylight and I've lost temperature. Rudolph the red nose, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day here. So I want to talk to y'all about the tools to use. The jigsaw can definitely be used, but it's not the best option for a clean cut. I'd probably do a table saw with a skill saw, circular saw, any type. I think 140 cutting down, and this is why. So I had to experiment with the bits. I use what was recommended by Swisstrax, a mini tooth. The more teeth, the better, they said. But that didn't necessarily give me the best result. And I'm gonna add this caveat. It really depends on your cutting technique with this jigsaw. So this is it with the mini teeth. And you can see the kickback kind of like melted at the end. And it doesn't really pull off very clean. It's kind of hassle. You can kind of see right there, it just kind of kicks out. You can always clean that out with a fingernail clipper or some type of snips. Now, using the unorthodox 10 tooth smooth wood cutting, it kind of has a back and forth saw or teeth. I can't really get it into focus. Anyway, it's kind of like a back and forth saw. It kind of gives it a better cut for this. So you can see it's still a little bit of kickback, but it pulls right off, very clean, with no real hassle. Anything else, still you can use a fingernail clip it like this right here. That is the only one that, this is the only piece that I've been having that issue, but it pretty much melts right off. Sorry, this focus is not cooperating, but this one right here comes right off. And you want that clean break off. Like I said, the jigsaw, if I was to do this again, I'd definitely use a skill saw, circular saw 140, but use caution. Test on a towel that is not easily seen to test the technique. And keep in mind, this technique may not necessarily work for your skill or your technique of how you use the power tool. So this is the last piece. I used the skill saw, jigsaw. I'm going back and forth on tools and stuff, but this is the last piece right here. And I didn't test fit it. So you're gonna see this real time. Falls right in. Gotta lift this up a little bit. There's also why you're supposed to move from the front back, so you don't have to do any lifting. You can just set it down, but this is down in place. Snap that. Good fit. And the importance of using that dry erase marker, I can take a piece of wet paper, it's gonna come right off. So I had to actually do that for a misdirectional, I guess, marking. Came right off instead of ruining the piece, having to use some aggressive stuff. But that is it, sir. That is it. Install is complete. Came out good. All right, folks, we're all done. It's a wrap. Went ahead and got everything, all the sides in and everything. And man, this definitely changes the full aesthetic of the garage. We're well on our way. Swisstrax makes a good product, I'll tell you that right now. I am very happy with the selection of the pattern. Got the red in the back, and this is gonna be the cabinet, 18 inches out. So just a little bit of red as an accent. Back here, majority gray, that's gonna wear well. And we got the red stripe up here, as well as the checkered flag with the checkered ramps. My checker flag is gonna go right back here, man. That's the aesthetic. It's race car only, you feel me? So that's it. We're gonna go ahead and get into the new age installation, and that's gonna be almost a wrap for the garage. So stay tuned to part 3. Been a joy working with y'all. Been another episode of BWI to ATXF, the channel. Go ahead and like, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out part 1. This is part 2. Lock in for part 3. I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch y'all next time.